P-22, pictured in the Griffith Park area near downtown Los Angeles in 2014, has been euthanized, officials said Saturday. P-22, pictured in the Griffith Park area near downtown Los Angeles in 2014, has been euthanized, officials said Saturday. For years, a wild mountain lion's presence in metropolitan Los Angeles captured the attention and adoration of the city's residents. But his story came to a sad close on Saturday. Wildlife officials euthanized the animal, dubbed P-22, after discovering he suffered from a slew of medical issues and sustained injuries after a vehicle struck him. The 12-year-old Hollywood cat made his debut in 2012 after completing a dangerous trek from the Santa Monica Mountains that included crossing two major LA freeways, according to the National Park Service. He became a local celebrity after residents spotted him near the Hollywood sign, becoming ill from rat poison and hiding underneath an LA home. And while P-22 spent years skulking freely in Griffith Park, the authorities announced their decision to capture him on December 8. After receiving reports that P-22 continued to appear dangerously close to human dwellings, may be distressed after killing a leashed pet in November, and reports that a vehicle struck him, authorities successfully captured the lion on Monday. On Saturday, the medical team at San Diego Zoo Safari Park and officials from the California Department of Fish and Wildlife said they completed a medical examination on P-22 and recommended euthanasia. The results of these tests and screenings showed significant trauma to the mountain lion's head, right eye and internal organs, confirming the suspicion of recent injury, such as a vehicle strike, CDFW officials said in a press release announcing the decision. The trauma to his internal organs would require invasive surgical repair. The medical team also cited the animal's advanced age and pre-existing illnesses, including extensive parasitic skin infection, arthritis and irreversible kidney disease, in its decision to euthanize the lion. Officials said they aren't seeking information on who struck P-22. This situation is not the fault of P-22, nor of a driver who may have hit him, CDFW officials said in the release. Rather, it is an eventuality that arises from habitat loss and fragmentation, and it underscores the need for thoughtful construction of wildlife crossings and well-planned spaces that provide wild animals room to roam.
Exclusive. Sam Bankman-Fried to reverse decision on contesting extradition. The 30-year-old cryptocurrency mogul was indicted in federal court in Manhattan on Tuesday and accused of engaging in a scheme to defraud FTX customers. His decision to consent to extradition would pave the way for him to appear in U.S. court to face charges of using billions of dollars in stolen customer deposits to pay for expenses and debts and to make investments on behalf of his crypto hedge fund, Alameda Research LLC. At his initial court hearing in Manhattan, Bankman-Fried would be asked to enter a plea and a judge would make a determination on bail, Margulis Onuma said. The attorney added that such a hearing must take place within 48 hours of Bankman-Fried's arrival in the United States, though it would likely be sooner. Prosecutors will likely argue that Bankman-Fried is a flight risk and should remain in custody because of the large sums of money involved in the case and the unclear location of those funds. The missing money gives prosecutors strong arguments that he is a flight risk, said former federal prosecutor and white-collar defense attorney Michael Weinstein. I expect that if a judge grants pretrial release, they would impose very restrictive and onerous conditions. Any trial is likely more than a year away, legal experts told Reuters. Neither a spokesman nor a U.S.-based lawyer for Bankman-Fried immediately responded to requests for comment. A spokesman for the U.S. Attorney's Office in Manhattan declined to comment. It was not immediately clear what prompted Bankman-Fried to change his mind and decide not to contest extradition. The U.S. State Department in a 2021 report said conditions at Fox Hill were harsh, citing overcrowding, rodent infestation, and prisoners relying on buckets as toilets. Authorities there say conditions have since improved. Bankman-Fried was arrested last Monday in the Bahamas, where he lives and where FTX is based. He was remanded on Tuesday to the Caribbean country's Fox Hill prison after Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt rejected his request to remain at home while awaiting a hearing on his extradition to the United States. Bankman-Fried had made a new bail application before the Bahamas Supreme Court on Thursday, a person familiar with the matter told Reuters at the time. Bankman-Fried amassed a fortune valued at over $20 billion as he rode a cryptocurrency boom to build FTX into one of the world's largest exchanges before it abruptly collapsed this year. Damian Williams, the top federal prosecutor in Manhattan, described the collapse of FTX as one of the biggest financial frauds in American history. Bankman-Fried has acknowledged risk management failures at FTX but has said he did not believe he had any criminal liability. Bankman-Fried faces up to 115 years in prison if ultimately convicted of all 8 counts he faces in the United States, though any sentence would ultimately be determined by a judge based on a range of factors.
Bond set at $50,000 for Robert Crimo Jr., father of Highland Park July 4th parade shooting suspect. Bond for the father of an Illinois man with killing 7 people in a Chicago suburb was set at $50,000 on Saturday, after prosecutors announced Friday he was charged with 7 felony counts of reckless conduct. Lake County State's Attorney Eric Reinhardt said Robert Crimo Jr. surrendered to police on Friday. Reinhardt said the charges are based on Crimo sponsoring his then 19-year-old son's application for a gun license. Parents and guardians are in the best position to decide whether their teenagers should have a weapon, Reinhardt said. In this case, the system failed when Robert Crimo Jr. sponsored his son. He knew what he knew, and he signed the form anyway. A grand jury in July indicted Robert, Bobby, Crimo III on 21 first-degree murder counts, 48 counts of attempted murder, and 48 counts of aggravated battery, representing the 7 people killed and dozens wounded in a beloved holiday event in Highland Park. The elder Crimo's lawyer told the judge Saturday during a 10-minute video hearing that Crimo would be able to pay the required bond amount for his release. Among the conditions of his release, Lake County Judge Jacqueline Melius told him, was that he turn in any gun licenses, as well as any weapons at his home. The defense lawyer told the judge earlier that his client posed no threat to anyone, had no criminal record, and had close ties to the community of Highland Park, where the mass shooting occurred over the summer. Prosecutors did not oppose Crimo's release on bond. Melius set his next hearing for January 12th. Until Friday, the prosecutor had refused to discuss whether the man's parents could face charges connected to the killings. Illinois authorities have previously said Bob Crimo sponsored his son's application for a gun license in 2019. In Illinois, 18-, 19-, and 20-year-olds may only obtain a firearm owner's identification card with parental sponsorship, reports. Police also have said that Bob Crimo told authorities that knives found in the family's home belonged to him after another family member reported in September 2019 that the younger Crimo had threatened to kill everyone and had a collection of knives. Legal experts have said it's rare for an accused shooter's parent or guardian to face charges, in part because it's difficult to prove such charges. In one notable exception, A Michigan prosecutor last year filed involuntary manslaughter charges against the parents of a teen accused of fatally shooting 4 students at his high school. A January trial date in that case has been delayed, while the state appeals court considers an appeal by the parents. Illinois State Police reported back in July that the suspect passed 4 background checks in 2020 and 2021, and in the process amassed 5 firearms. The first weapon was purchased after his father signed the authorization form, state police said. Highland Park Police Chief Lou Jogman in a July 6 interview that investigators believe the suspect had planned the shooting for several weeks. There was quite a bit of pre-planning that went into it, and he was quite motivated to carry out the attack, Jogman said at the time.